Alright, I'm going to quickly go over some things that I do to build quotes for myself. You can see here I have some of my printed out documents of the quotes I'm using. You'll have access to these as well, so it's not really you need to pause the video and write them all down now. What you're going to see is I'm going to start with some common stuff here that I've been doing for the last few years. I'm just going to read some of them off and talk about how I built those. So for alignments, I have my alignments is probably for me one of the biggest upsells. It just pays a lot. And on the Audis, their tires wear like crap. You have 20,000 miles on the car and the tires are wearing bad. So I'm going to read you off the ASR. Sorry, the quote. Additional service request is what we call it. Oh shit, that's why it's called ASR. Feathering is beginning to occur on the outside edges of the tires, which over time can cause premature tire wear, excessive tire road noise, and poor ride quality. I recommend you perform a four-wheel alignment with the driver assistance calibration, front camera calibration, adaptive cruise control calibration to ensure that your tires are wearing properly and evenly, and also to ensure the function of the driver assistance and safety systems of the vehicle. So you can I take that in my videos and I kind of say it in like a shorter version and just let them know why I'm recommending it and let them know what it does. In alignment, some people don't realize that all these driver assistance and safety systems need to be calibrated into alignments. So it's important to let them know their safety systems before they're ever driver assistance systems. But either way, you want to let them know what it's calibrating. So I'll go over here to some of we'll do open control arm bushings because that's pretty common for Audis, and I feel like I could probably just say that one off of memorization. So that the open control arm bushings are separating and beginning to move freely. They're being identified at a category 2 or 3, whatever they're being measured at, which can cause premature tire wear, affect handling, and eventually causing some noise over bumps and turns. They're at a category 3, which will cause premature and abnormal tire wear. If I test drove the vehicle before I pulled it in and noticed there is some bumping sensation and clunking coming from your front suspension. It'll also affect the ride quality of the vehicle. You might have noticed the suspension's a little bit loose so that your vehicle's not tracking straight. So I would recommend to replace all 4 of those open control arm bushings as a pair to ensure proper and even tire wear, as well as performing an alignment. So you're capitalizing on that, it's on your one quote, you're putting it all into your the alignment. Make sure you're telling them if you're selling something else like with or related to repair, make sure you drop it in the bottom. You're selling tires, recommend to replace tires and to perform an alignment. If you want to do brakes, I'm recommend to do a brake service or replace front brakes as well as performing a brake flush. Because they may not have the patience or they may not have the attention to look at those other service requests. They may not want to even spend the money, and that's okay, but you're putting it in their head on that initial quote. Why are they there? What's the most important thing? Is it safety related? Is it maintenance related? Put it in their head, include as much as you can in the typed out or in this case printed version of your quote. I also put in on these ones you can kind of see here for my oil filter housing and oil cooler assemblies, I'm putting in my parts list because I don't want to have to type all that out again. I put that in, I have a document on the computer where you put your story for the quote and then you put your parts for the quote. And so I'm able to then copy paste everything here and copy paste everything here. Now if you're working on the same 10 repairs and you don't have a computer, well, why aren't you printing out that quote? Print out your quote sheet for that repair so that you can just grab that quote sheet and hand it over. You don't have to type those things out again. There's ways to get around. There's ways to save time. There's ways to save efficiency. I have all my CDK stories similar to this where they're all typed out. Big repairs are coax cable repairs. That's like AC compressor. I go into big detail about the AC compressor and everything. In my video, I'm just touching your AC compressor is bad, becoming faulty. If this, some of the things I found, if there's metal in the system, I'm showing that. I'm letting you know why I'm recommending the items, the compressor or any other items. So use all your detail here. Don't tell them they're going to fly off the road and die. Just tell them the circumstances. Tell them if it's safety related, like those bushings. If they're at the bad point, it's unsafe to drive a vehicle. Your control arm's broken, or your suspension's sagging extremely. They probably know that. They drove it in. They know something's going on. I want to get with each and every one of you and go on a call and build a few of these together. I'll work with you to build these quotes or these. I think it'd be easier to build some quotes with you specific to your brand, specific to your shop, and then we'll build some together, and then you'll be able to build some of those on your own just based off what you've learned and seen here today. And then hopefully that will elevate your stance, and it'll elevate your upsells, it'll elevate your approvals, it'll elevate everything in your technician career just by being able to sell things in an honest and trustworthy way. And very detailed, very professional, grammatically correct. You want to make sure that everything's spelled good, everything sounds good. If you struggle with English, then there's some steps where like use your spell check, use some things that can help you be more successful, that can help you write a better quote, better upselling.